Things to talk about, so we had to take a break so that we can come back and talk to you guys. Just right things. I just want to clarify, so for those people who haven't actually heard from us or who don't know who these people are, this is Umbani Radio Umbani production, downtown Denver, Connecticut, 240 Main Street. You can visit us anytime if you want to talk about diaspora issues. So today, with the elections coming up tomorrow, which is the South African elections, and people are voting all over the world. The diaspora nation in China is already Saturday, they are already starting voting. And in Australia is already Saturday, is already started voting. In India, all of the eastern part of the world, they are already voting. And over here, we are over in Connecticut. And tomorrow morning, starting from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night, you can go to the consulate up in New York and you can be able to vote. So please, my community, please, my South African people, go and vote. You are needed to go and vote tomorrow. And Vusi is a German that we have on the studio. We talked to him earlier on. He's a big-time EF supporter, and I actually giving him the position now to be some sort of in a chairmanship. I don't know what chairmanship he can get. Some sort of a vice president. I don't know what kind of vice president he can have. Even a vice president of marketing or advertisement for the EFF, because he's doing a good job.
Come on.
And I'm not just saying he's doing a good job because he's here in the studio and I'm afraid he might beat me up. But I'm just saying because everything that he's been talking about has been sound. I apologize to those people who are waiting for the video that never showed. Unfortunately, like anything else, we had some technical difficulties. But this video right now that we are doing right now, you're going to get to see this one. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and listening to.
You're listening to Umbani Radio.
You're listening to Umbani.
Ladies and gentlemen, so Vusi is the man in the studio, Vusi Msibi, and Vusi Msibi is actually doing the groundwork for the EFF in a diaspora community out here. And tomorrow he's gonna be one of the people who's gonna be making sure that their votes are being accounted for correctly, and he's here in the studio to talk to us. And honestly speaking, I've been wowed by his conversation. Vusi, for those people who didn't get to hear us earlier, can you just introduce yourself again? Sorry. Go ahead.
Let me take this opportunity again and thank Umbane for giving us this opportunity to come in here and talk to our people.
You're welcome, Baba.
And stress the fact that we are in the most important era of our lives, where we need to take politics as young people, not only as something that is full of people with no truth whatsoever, but it is now a necessity if you are young people or a young person living in this era, because politics determines exactly where you're going, what you want to have, what you want to be, what contribution you want to make in this world. So with that being said, I'm here to play my own part, as I said in the first interview or the first session we had, for those who've been listening to us, that some of us are here to do the little that we can in our own space, in our own little space that we occupy, is to try and be the change that we love to see in the world. So basically, that's what we're here for. So for some of us, not only me, but a lot of fighters out here in America, we understand one thing, that firstly, we are not power mongers. Secondly, we are here as volunteers. We are here doing the right thing, not only for our people, but for our kids too. To say to them, we were also in the picket lines, talking about all the issues that affect the black man or the black woman in today's time. Yes, sir. So in short, that's what I will say. You know, my name is Vusi Msibi, and I'm here, as I said, as a volunteer of the EFF, because this is an organization that, or the movement
You believe in.
that spoke to me.
Can I just ask you a question, Vusi, because this is a very important question, boss.
Yes.
When as a person doing the groundwork, and I'm pretty sure that you do run across people of different colors, like colors, you run across whites. Those are South Africans. Those are Africans. If you think about the identity of an African in terms of the EFF, an identity of an African, hear me well, in terms of the EFF, where is an identity of an African in terms of the EFF when it comes to white minorities South Africans?
Okay. You're asking a very good question, but it has been answered before by our CIC. Look, Kuli, here's the thing. We've got what you call the indigenous people of Africa, which is a black people. Then you've got the Khoisan people that were situated and came across all of the fights and all of the first people that came across, as they say, in the Southern Africa now, that came across and fought the very first Boers that came in our country. So that's another history that we need to get into, or another topic that we need to get to. But what I'm trying to say is that, look, with those groupings of people, the indigenous people who are black people, you call them Bantu. Then you find the Hottentots, who you call them Bushmen or whatever. Those were the people that belong to Africa. Now, let's go back to white people. White people have naturalized, my brother, in Africa because they came to Africa. Some of us don't have any other place to call home than Africa. Africa is all we have. So, answering your question, I would say white people naturalize in Africa, and we should embrace and welcome them, because anything that has naturalized has, it has taken a firm stand.
Yes, has planted its roots.
Yes, it's like tree. If you wake up tomorrow and you find trees not there, you wake up tomorrow and you find mountains not there, the world or our countries will look different, So white people are like that, are like trees. We love them because they've naturalized, in our country, in our continent. So they are too Africans, only if they believe and act African. Now that's where we differ with them, because why I'm saying this, I'm pushing it to another level. Okay? But please allow me to say this. Maybe
let me ask you a question. And let me ask you a question though. I hear what you're saying, and I don't wanna. Not that I'm trying to control the conversation, but
Yes,
if we're saying they don't want to, that's another story. You know what I mean? And I think it's a fact that there is a large majority of white South Africans who are part of the resistance movement, but there is also a large number of white South Africans who are part of the liberation movement, meaning going forward, not necessarily liberation movement, progressive movement. So what I'm saying, by saying that, what I'm trying to bring you to is this. The situation with the minority of immigrants that are whites, that are in South Africa, that have actually established citizenship, that have been there for years, that own land, that own property, it's bigger than the situation of some of the black Africans that came in yesterday and established a citizenship and established a residence in South Africa, whether legally or illegally. Doesn't matter. So if I was looking from the outside, I would say that the EFF agenda is prioritizing people who came in yesterday to establish, because we are a state of its own. And since we are a state of its own, that means we have borders. So since we have borders, those borders represent something that at this point we are in South Africa, or at this point we are entering South Africa or leaving South Africa. So the people that are already inside, that have established residency like whites, who've been there for a while, the priority from the EFF, it looks like it's very minor. We're thinking about taking care of the people that came in yesterday. I'm not going to say that's what is going on, but I think I perceive it from a distance, because if we're looking at the agenda is always black this, black that. So that means even the people that are coming from the other countries in Africa. But how about the people that are providing food in the table for our grandmas, for our fathers, for our child in South Africa? Are we actually doing anything to make sure that they feel comfortable in the next, in the next leadership? Let's say if the next leadership is the EFF, because the DA is already establishing that they are actually taking care of them. But now the EFF, if they are distancing themselves from that, how progressive is that? Because the next question will be like, aren't we the Rainbow Nation? Aren't we supposed to embrace everybody? I know it's a loaded question, but you can highlight it, because I want to get to the next question.
I'm going to try by all means to answer your question. Maybe let me put it this way. Your question, if I understand it better, was more on saying, which is we're
prioritizing illegal immigrants that came in from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Angola, Nigeria, instead of worry about the people that are farming out there and working hard and providing the economy of South Africa. And I think that's the agenda of the EFF right now.
The biggest problem, first of all, when you talk about people and referring to white people, I think I must help you and say you mean white farmers and white people that you think are giving us what you call.
They are. That's a fact. That's a fact. They are farming right now.
All right. But yeah, it is. No white person is farming in Africa. No white person is farming in South Africa.
They own farms. They're running them.
They might own farms. They might run them, but they are not doing the actual work. The plight of a black person today is saying enough with the cheap labor that you, as a white person or monopoly capital, have been doing to our own people. The plight of a black person right now is to say enough is enough. We don't care whether you bring whatever, but enough is enough.
So are you going to this? Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay. All right.
You ask me a question, let me answer.
Okay.
So I've got a problem when you're gonna come to me and say we need to prioritize white people. Now I want to put this in a way that everybody will understand what your question basically is on that. You are saying we need to prioritize the white face that comes in our country because the white face is bringing economy, is bringing markets, is bringing jobs.
South Africans.
Basically, that's what you are saying.
They are South Africans. They are South Africans.
Here's the thing.
They have established citizenship. They are actually working hard, providing for the country and making sure the economy is stable.
But your question was, well, maybe the listeners might help us. But your question was more on saying,
let's prioritize them over illegal immigrants.
The white people that come in our country to invest. I think that's how.
Not only just no, I'm not going there yet. I'm not going there. That's another question. No, that's another question. I'm talking about white South Africans that are citizens of the country working hard, providing for our economy, contributing in their.
How are they working hard?
They run properties that actually produced food, and they actually produce. No. We should not deny the fact that
brother, I need to hold you right.
So you're saying that they're not doing anything?
Right no.
So you're saying they're not doing anything?
Explain that.
Okay.
This is a fallacy that we've been taught or been told. Kuli, a black man is the one that is doing everything in those farms. A black labor
somebody has to do the job.
That has to do
somebody has to do the job.
Let me tell you this. This is how you look at this, my brother. the president. Let's talk about Ramaphosa. Or let's talk about any other president. Are you going to say to me the president will do everything that he has promised during election on his own? No, it's not going to happen. It's just like white people. They have the accountant. They've got the managers, my brother, that manages their businesses. Now, when we talk about their businesses in the farming sector, we talk about the farms itself. They've got people from ABSA and all these other big companies that come and do business analysis and all of that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that the hard part of producing the food that you and me eat is being done by our poor black brothers and sisters, our poor mothers and fathers. So agree. Don't come to me and tell me
Vusi.
about the white man that is running a farm or running an establishment in our country, but based on what you call cheap labor, and that is based on our people.
Vusi.
So
we can talk about cheap labor.
No,
we can discuss that. We have to address that cheap labor. But I did say it earlier on.
No, listen.
Okay.
What we need to know, or what we need to address, we need to address the fact that what you've just said, that the white people are bringing food to us. They're not only to us, but to the world and everything. It's a fallacy for me. Because there is no white person that knows how to plant that plant. There is no white person that knows how to do
I think I disagree with you. I think I disagree with you because I'm not going to say, honestly speaking, I know people like, okay, there's so many billionaires from Africa who do oil and do all kinds of things. No. I just want to bring a certain point that we should not say that they don't know about what they own, what they run. The only reason those things are happening, they are planting year to year and producing some of the great crop, is because there is some sort of leadership that they are doing and running the property like a business. We have to give them credit. They've been doing that. What I'm saying is, what I can agree with you about is that if we, because this is what the EFF is doing, I agree with the EFF. Let's not misuse the people and actually use them as cheap labor and don't pay them correctly. Because that's what, no, we're talking about farmers. I guess let's say farmers. Let's just specifically say farmers, okay, which is one of the biggest issues right now in South Africa, is that they are actually not paying them correctly. I'm saying that because I used to live in a farm. Actually, to be honest with you, you might not know this. I lived in a street which was called the Kafferstad. It was in Warden, or it's called the Vodi, in Orange Free State at the time. I used to go to Spring Roof High School, and I actually enjoyed my time over there. And one of the things that I learned was how hard it could be for a black man. And yes, my grandparents died poor because they were never paid what they worked for. They worked for a farmer who was not paying them what they were deserving. And I think it's been going on for years. Yes, we have to fight that. And I agree with the fighters when it comes to that. But what I'm saying is that if people are already working hard, meaning that the owners
working hard? That's what I want to know.
The owners, they are doing something. How can they be in business of this?
Can you articulate what you mean by working hard?
It's Vusi. If you have a business like right now, and you have people that work for you, so we should give all the credit to people that work for you, not to you who's doing the work behind the scene to make sure that the business exists for years.
My brother, we do not need to mislead our people. First of all,
so we're saying the white people don't do anything. They don't contribute in the community.
The real farmers, you'll find them in America. You know why I will say to you, the real farmers, you'll find them in America, is that the farmers of the maize, you need to go and Google it up and search it up. The farmers of the maize in America are farmers that do the work themselves. Of course, they've got innovations. They've got all these machines. They've got all these things that they invent, that they've put so much money.
You know, in South Africa, they have that too.
Yes, I know that. South Africa has the best farmers in the world. But what I'm trying to say to you is that American farmers, the reason why there's a difference between American farmers and South African farmers is because American farmers don't have what you call cheap labor.
They do. They use Mexicans.
No, not
No.
everywhere. They only use Mexicans on strawberries and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
On things like maize and stuff, they are farmers by virtue of being farmers, my brother. Those farmers that you find in South Africa today are farmers that make their profit just like any other white person that make their profit on the backs of the black people.
We don't disagree on that.
To get to the
We
point.
don't disagree on that.
Now listen to this.
Don't kick the camera though, because we want the people to see you.
all I'm saying, I get very emotional when you talk about this. All I'm trying to say to you is that we do not need to make this farmer, not make, but to overpraise people that has what you call cheap labor to begin with to do what they need to do. And number two, these are the farmers, as I said to you, that they had all the necessary skills and necessary help around them.
I agree with you. I didn't disagree with you though.
I'm saying to you, you can take the very same black man. You can take me, for example.
Remember what happened in Zimbabwe. Go ahead.
It's another issue on its own. But I'm trying to say to you is that
they said they're going to do it themselves.
All I'm trying to say to you is that give our people credit where it's due.
Okay.
Give our people the credit that they deserve. These are the people that make the world eat. These are the people that plow those plants. These are the people that goes to their farmer in the morning. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say to you is that the actual labor is done by our own people. When are we going to start?
I don't disagree with that. I worked in the farm too. I don't disagree with that. You probably have never worked in the farm. You're talking from reading from a distance. No, you probably talking. You lived in Soweto. There's no farms in Soweto. But anyway, let me.
Not everybody in Soweto comes from Soweto. Now let me give you this little experience of mine, in order maybe for you to connect with what I'm talking about, because it's not something that I've heard about. When we talk about who actually does the work in those farms, when we talk about farming in South Africa, who are we talking about? Are we talking about the elite, the white elite that goes there and sits amongst themselves and discuss what they're going to do and all of that, and direct all of those to our same people, which are black people, to go and plant all of those things that they've discussed? But it's okay. I understand all of that. But what I'm trying to say, let me show you that I understand what you're talking about and take you back to my personal life. Where I come from at home, Skulele, I was born in Soweto, Skeket. Born in Soweto, my dad is from Mpumalanga, Petali. Ubaba mina mesikhula, we used to go home every year. December. So when we go home, siya kamkhulu eplazini. Iplazi lakhona bekuthiwa iplazi lakamkhulu.
He owns the farm, or he lived in the farm?
Oh, he lived in the farm, just like any other poor families, What happened is, njengoba bengisho ukuthi iplazi lakhona laka Mphimbo. Ibhunu lakhona ukubizwa Mphimbo. Now, this is a story of my father. It's a long story, but I'm going to make it short, just to show you that I know the plight of a black man. My own father never went to school, literally, my brother. What happened is that the laws in the farms at the time was the kid needs to know how to write and read the letter. Once he can able to do that, then it's done. He needs to go and work in the farm full time. Now, my grandfather had 11 kids. My dad being the second kid or something like that on the boys. So my dad had to get his chance to work in this farm. Every man or every boy that is born in this farm that belongs to this guy called Umpimbo at that time need to be registered. Now, Umpimbo knows when the boy is, or the son is been born, amongst these families, then he has more employees or slaves, if you want to put it that way. So my dad was one of those slaves until my dad decided to run away from the farm and come to Joburg. That's when he met my mom. That's why I was born. But we kept on going back home, which is a better. So what I'm trying to say to you, we've lived the farm life. I've lived the farm life. I've seen what my grandpa has to go through. I've seen what my dad has to go through. If it was in for that life, my dad maybe would have been something, would have maybe went to school or something.
Maybe a lawyer
But
or
what
something.
I'm trying to say to you is that, my brother, let's take away the narrative that white people are there for food security. There are black people behind those white people that owns what you call the farms, which is they even stole from us, but that's another discussion. But what I'm trying to say is that our black parents, our fathers, are the ones who are doing the actual work. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to you, my brother, not giving our people credit.
No, ladies and gentlemen, and just to remind you what we are actually.
You're listening to Bunny Radio.
It's the two South Africans, me and Vusi. We are just having a conversation, and the elections are tomorrow, May 27. Some people are already on May 27, and some people are going to see this, on April 27, I apologize. On April 27, and on the other hand, to South Africa celebrate 25 years of democracy. And ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this. Thank you so much. And again, these are two South Africans having a conversation, and we are just discussing things that alarm us and things that disturb us as South Africans. Vusi, just moving on, but I want to go to this issue of immigration because we already exhausted so much time on this subject, and I think we touched it the best that we could. So now, I know that your dear leader, actually, Julius Malema, was in one of the radio shows, 702. I don't know who's in charge of the radio show, but anyway, he was there. And one of the questions that came out is the issue of border control, the issue of immigrants that are in South Africa right now, that it seems to be a ridiculous number of immigrants. So anyway, I just before you say anything, Vusi, I just want you to listen to this clip of Malema, and I'll just hear your opinion after that.
Well, if the EFF becomes, the government tomorrow, those things of borders, I don't think we will have them because we don't believe in them. They're artificial. They were imposed on us by colonizers, and we are unwittingly supporting the colonizers because the movement of goods and persons in Africa before colonizers imposed borders on us was free. And if you speak decolonization of education or any other thing, you must know you are including the borders, because doing away with the borders is part of decolonization. And if that is going to cost us votes, let it be, because these people have divided us. They've imposed certain things on us, and we glorify them. When you are done with controlling the borders and removing the so-called foreigners from South Africa, you are going to start fighting a tribal war.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give credit to the interviewer, and the interviewer is Eusebius Makaiser on 702. He was interviewing Julius Malema. Because I took a clip from YouTube, so I want to have a disclaimer that it's not ours. We took it from that clip. So you heard what the man said, Vusi. No borders, keep it open. It's an open land. It's South Africa. It's an open land. Let's all drive through. Let's all go as let's go and steal a car and go back to Malawi. Nobody would catch us. It's an open border. Why do we need border control? What kind of a country has a border? Why do we need that? Let's do whatever. South Africa is open. Come down, Egypt. Come down if you have problems in Kenya. Go to South Africa. You don't even need a passport. You go there, grab a wife and leave, grab a stand and stay. You'll be naturalized. You went through, you came here. We came here, stay.
All right. It's so funny how we are so quick to judge and to really put a stigma in our own African brothers and sisters, if I may put it that way. But what's funny about it?
Go ahead.
When I get the Vusi, that's not actually what the EFF or the movement stand for? Basically, what the CIC is saying, actually, if you could have listened to him today, he did touch on that. So basically, what we are trying to say is that, Kuli, it's simple. We are saying let everybody that comes in the country goes through a system in our Home Affairs office where we can actually have them fingerprinted. That's number one. Once we have them fingerprinted, that means we know who is here in this country and what is doing. Now, that simply means if any of those people decide to do things that they didn't come here to do, then they will be held accountable. That's all that we want. Just like we held the Guptas accountable. Just like the EFF has held all of these people that were looting our state accountable. Because we could find them. So basically, wait, Kuli.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say to you is that
I'm just saying, why are you repeating something that is happening right now? We already have these people registered in a proper way right now. Like the people that decide not to be legal is their choice, but we have a system right now. Like you guys talking about that system. No, that's not what he said. He said open borders because the borders.
Run away with
that's not what he said. I heard it from him. Okay, you want me to play this thing again?
No, it's fine. You can play that, but let me tell you what the CIC is saying. The CIC is saying...
Why are you interpreting his words?
But listen to what I'm saying.
Why are you interpreting his words?
Have you given me a chance to hear what I have to say?
All right.
No,
you went from... Okay, go ahead. Vusi, I apologize.
I mean, I don't understand this. But Kuli, here's the thing, boss. We are saying...
Open border?
We are saying...
Open
border. Let
border.
the people come in the country. Let the people have what you call the movement. Because we need it. Now, within that movement, all we need to do is to make sure that the Home Affairs registers. So we put more funds on Home Affairs. Now, I want you to understand this. Stop putting the ANC policies and what the ANC is doing now and compare that with what we want to do. So just hold us with what we are telling you.
That's what you told me right now. You told me something that is already happening.
No, listen.
Okay.
You need to listen to what I'm saying and take that and critique me based on what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that once the people are in, we all have them in, and we all have their fingerprinted.
Do we have any limitations of how many they can come through?
Now we don't
open
need
border.
no
Then we don't. We open border.
All right.
Open border. Can you say that word? Can you say the word open border? Open border, South Africa.
Open border with order.
Our kids and our family members can get raped by foreigners who decide not to go to former graves.
Who is a foreigner in his own country? Who's a foreigner in his own continent?
Why South Africa is called South Africa anyway? Because it's its own state, it's its own entity. No. Listen, no. Listen, even before, if we not gonna, if you wanna go that part, then even before, what was Shaka trying to do? You don't know nothing about Shaka, but I'll tell you. What was Shaka trying to do was trying to actually create a state with the government that is running. That's what he was trying to do, right? And where was the state? The state was KwaZulu-Natal. So when you come to KwaZulu-Natal, what did you need to do when you walk in? If you come to a tribe anywhere in Africa before all of this happened, you have to be taken to the nearest chief to report and be registered. But that didn't mean that you're going to be accepted. What you guys are saying is that keep the border open and hope these people will show up and get registered. Because if then that's the case, Vusi, this is where the issue is going to be. How many of those people are going to decide to get registered? Because some people are there for the wrong reasons. We should not run away from the fact that some
Only
of
white
the
people
illegals,
are there for the right reasons. only
No,
white
no,
people
I'm
that
not.
come from
Who said
Europe
that? Who said
to
that?
come and
Who
farm
said
in
that?
South Africa.
Who
You
said that? I'm
earlier.
not saying that.
You know what?
I'm not saying that. No, I didn't say that.
I think it's time I need to take this interview. I've let you run so much with this. Now you need to understand where I'm coming from with this. You have never given me an opportunity.
I gave you an
to talk to
opportunity.
you.
Okay.
It's like you asking me questions and still
Yeah,
answer
right.
yourself.
Okay.
So here we are, my brother. First of all, I need to tell you this. You cannot refer to black people who live in South Africa, who are born in South Africa, by the creator that created them in Africa. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you cannot refer to white people coming to our country as people that are coming to bring in what you called, in your words, investment. And when these Nigerians come to South Africa and the whole other
drugs.
Africa that come to
They're
South
investing
Africa,
drugs
they're
and crime.
all investing what you've just said. Now,
drugs
I'm
and
glad
crime.
that everybody else is hearing what you are saying.
Well,
So you are generalizing what everybody is doing. No,
I
forget
saw.
about-
I saw a point. I saw Point Road in Durban
Right now,
fall
you're saying
apart.
there's statistics. What
There's
statistics are you talking
statistics.
about?
There's statistics.
What
They're there.
studies?
They
What
are there.
studies do you have?
They're
What
there. They're
studies
there.
do you have?
I'm just saying
What
they're there.
study- Can you refer us to a study that says
I haven't done those studies,
all
but I'm
Nigerians
saying
that come in South Africa,
I'm not saying
they're
that.
bringing drugs. So you need to
Okay.
refrain from that, because white
so.
people
We should
that
let them in for free.
you need to refrain.
We should let them for free.
You need to refrain from that, because
I didn't say that. You're the one who's saying all of that. You just misheard
you
me.
said that.
Let him fight with the micro, with the headphones. Keep on fighting, fighter.
But what you need to understand is that white people come to South Africa and do crimes. The very same white people that you are saying they're
I'm not
coming
dismissing that.
They're coming to invest.
I was talking about
most
fighters.
of them, they're coming to
I was
open
talking
up
about farmers.
to open up those nightclubs where these drugs that you are talking about that are being sold by Nigerians don't own clubs in South Africa.
How
White
do you know
people
that?
own clubs in
How
South Africa.
do you know that?
Nigerians don't have money to
You
own
don't
clubs
know
in
that.
South Africa. I know that because it is the truth.
You're just saying it.
Come on, I'm from
No.
I know
You don't
who
know.
owns-
You don't know all of it. You're just assuming.
I'm not assuming.
Because-
I'm telling you the truth. Razmataz
Okay,
is
it's the
owned
truth.
by
That's
a
what you're
white
telling me.
man.
Show me. Show me.
All these, but I'm telling
Show
you
me
now.
though.
But I'm telling
So
you.
don't dismiss me saying there's statistics then if you're also gonna make up your own story. Because you're making up your own
How
story.
am I making my story when I'm giving you references? I'm saying
Are you saying-
Razmataz. I'm saying
Okay.
to you teasers. I'm saying to you all these white established nightclubs are owned by white Europeans that sells drugs in those people, and who are catching fire? Black middle class, black poor people are catching those things. Given by who? Given by the white people that own these clubs. And these Nigerians that you refer to, these Nigerians will never have a platform to sell these drugs if the very same white people didn't own what I've referred to right now as nightclubs. We need to get these things in right order. We need to run away and get away from what we've been taught before by the ANC, by the way, 25 years ago. Kuli, this is about time that we address the fundamental issue. The fundamental issues that we have today.
Can we go back to the border?
The fundamental issues that we
Can
have
we go
today
back to the border?
is that everyone that is black is not bringing investment in our country but bringing crime.
You're right, you're
but
right.
everyone that
Absolutely.
is white is bringing all the investment. It's very wrong. It's not a narrative that we need to
Absolutely.
go with, because the very same people, they've proven to us that they are coming there to loot, not to even make our lives better. Now, I'll make an example with the Guptas. They've came to South Africa being illegal immigrants. Nobody spoke about Indians being illegal immigrants. Nobody spoke about...
Vusi,
Why must we speak about the black people and address them as the people?
You are so
and
angry right now.
No, I'm not.
You are. You look angry.
I'm very passionate when it comes to
I
the
love you,
African
my
blood.
fighter.
You're listening to Full Body Radio.